Hey, it's Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. Thank you so much for joining me tonight as we're going to go ahead and do a little recap of this 2022 draft. Again, I said it in a video probably about a week ago. Thanks everybody for staying here as I go through my little break that I'm going to take. And that break that I take will be every year after the last game of the regular season and up until the draft. And that's because family is important to me. You know, I got recently married a couple years back, and you got to give back to the family to support you in doing what you're doing. But so don't be surprised with those little breaks. But you know, the season's back. So Chris Jenkins, aka Man of the People, is here to serve you guys in each and every year. We're gonna do stuff more, gonna do stuff better, going to serve you better. So please, I'm always like to tell you that I'm here for your service. Contact me however you wish. I'm easy to reach. And you know, during the season, I like to have you all come on to the show and ask your questions. So that will continue. We won't do much of that tonight, even though I really do want your feedback and your interactive through the chat. But let's go ahead and get started with talking about this draft. And there's a few things that I forgot to do. So tonight, excuse me if I'm a little rusty and doing a few things because I didn't have a chance to do my dry run with everything. And let me see if there's some people that have signed in. YPX918, appreciate you tuning in on YouTube. By the way, so this is broadcast over YouTube, over Twitter, and over Facebook. You can interact with me on all those platforms, but if you really want to get the full, most bang for your buck value, slide on over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. That's best way to support me and help me continue to grow and do more stuff that I like to do for you guys. But YouTube would be the most interactive. So what's up, Ali? What's up, Vox? Charles? Hijo17, what's going on? Let me see if I can get something up real quick. But I can tell you this, as I get ready to get everything going, tell me, leave me some comments. What do you think of this draft selection so far? How did Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule do for this 2022 draft? I want to first just take a quick second to to get some ideas of what you all think from this draft. And I'm still trying to get a few things in order for myself, but all right. Yeah, what do you guys think of this draft? Did we do good? Did we do bad? We got a lot of work to do. What are your thoughts? But I see people are tuning in. So as we get along here, let me get a little drink of water. For once, Michael likes every pick from this year. Every single pick Mike likes. I think you might not be in a minority with that. Josh, the urban outdoorsman. What is he holding there in his hand? He gives it an A+. Okay, all right. I think I skipped over somebody. So let me go back a little bit. Malcolm says we're in there like swimwear. Vox says we got icky. That's all they wanted. More Worship says we addressed a lot of needs. Hey man, talk about signing Charleston Ramba. And okay, I will. I won't get ahead of myself, but I will. For what we had as far as picks, that was masterfully done. Couldn't imagine it turning out as good as it did. All right, Hill Joe. Got a few more comments, and then I'm going to start to share my information with you guys. But again, it's an interactive show. I don't like to have a show where I just blah, 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 blah. It's an interactive show. So I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to be reaching. Actually, I'm just going to take this earpiece out for a second until I get to the part where I want to show some audio. What else we got here? Charles, good job. Wish we had gotten Sin at the end. Lots of potential with these picks. I'm going to read 3 more, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I actually already need a refill of my water. Josh says, the first round pick seemed like a great athlete and even a greater person. And I'm going to go into it a little bit more, Josh. I always say I'm a lucky person, very fortunate to have the job that I do because it's so cool to see these guys get drafted, and then minutes later, I'm able to talk with them via Zoom or something like that, and shortly meet the people. So, one thing that you can expect from my channel is that I'm a real person, and that I don't try to hide the personal side and behind the scenes stuff that goes into sports coverage. I think that's important. I think a lot of people just almost like robotic and just talking about people, but they are people too. So anyway, does seem like a great person. I will find out shortly. Richard is good with the picks. How real is Coral starting? And by the way, I may say some names incorrectly tonight. I haven't got all the pronunciation sheets in front of me yet, and haven't memorized those, but I will certainly get the pronunciations down correctly. Last one I'm going to read here, and I'm going to go into my spiel. Matt Corral, definite upgrade at quarterback, at least I think so. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these draft picks from this year. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up on the screen here. Let me get this off of here. All right, so quickly, our picks for the 2022 draft went like this. Tackle, Ickey Woods, offensive tackle that is. First round pick, 6 overall, out of NC State. I forgot to put the colleges by here. I don't remember all these colleges. Quarterback, Matt Corral, out of Ole Miss. He was next up to be taken. And give me a second here. And anybody out there that follows the Bobcats / Charlotte Hornets, remember a player named Matt Corral? This is going to take me a second to get used to because Matt Corral still actually does the broadcast on the radio for the Hornets. In the first couple of days, it's only been, 48 hours since we drafted this guy. I keep thinking to say Matt Corral, but it's different. So, again, excuse me if I struggle with some of that tonight, but linebacker Brandon Smith was taken in the 4th round. Defensive end Amaré Barno taken in the 6th round. Offensive lineman Cade Mays taken in the 6th round. And cornerback Kalon Barnes taken in the 7th round. So those were our draft picks. And I think it's a pretty good draft. I really do think it's a pretty good draft. I also want to say that we're not even going to have the slightest idea till maybe starting late August about how good these guys are. So right now, I like to say keep things in perspective. Not to say don't get excited. This is exciting. This is the best thing that we could do at this step right now was get a draft that looks good, that sounds good, that feels good, that addresses needs that we have. Biggest one being quarterback. So we got that need addressed. Biggest one being a lineman to protect the blind side on the offense. We got that need addressed. And then we sprinkled in some other needs that aren't as big, but are all still important to the big picture. I mean, football is a really big team sport. So I know we want to get excited, and I'm just going to tell you now, when all OTAs start, yes, I will have a chance to see these players, and I will have a chance to report back. But again, we can't get too excited yet because these guys are not even in pads. For the most part, they're not even in shells. They're just in sweatpants or shorts running around. Everybody's going to look good. But I'm not saying don't get excited. I'm just saying, just know there's going to be stages to this. Not until we see them in Spartanburg, probably after a week, maybe some guys a couple days, where we start to see how great this draft class could be. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and one by one start to go through these guys a little bit more. And again, continue to leave some comments, leave some questions, whatever you have as we go through this. And give me one quick second before we really get into this. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be right back. All right, so one of the great things about being married is I can ask my beautiful wife to refill my cup of water so I don't have to leave you guys for too long. But let's go ahead. You already refilled it? Hold on 1 second. That was lightning fast, NASCAR quick. I could not believe she got my water that quick. But I'm appreciative, very appreciative. Get married. If you're not married, it's a great thing. All right, let's start to go through these guys one by one. Give me a second. Give me a second to get everything up. And we're going to go over these guys one by one. All right, we're going to start with Ekwonu. Let's see here. If I can bring this up properly. All right. Got a few graphics to show you. Our first pick from NC State, Ekwonu. Go over a few details about him here in just a second. Man, you can see he's just piling this guy over. That looks like a Carolina guy. And I'm not sure who they're playing here. There he is sitting right here in the middle. I'm going to leave this graphic up and tell you a little bit about Mr. Ekwonu. Offensive lineman at NC State. This guy is 6'4", 320 pounds. And let's go ahead and go over a few of his accolades. He was a 2021 First Team Associated Press All-American. He was a 2021 Outland Trophy finalist, 2021 First Team All-ACC. And he's your latest offensive lineman. Now, I hadn't had a chance to do a ton of research on these guys, but it was a graphic that I saw out there. Let me see if I can find it quickly on my phone, which talks about how good this guy could be for us. And let me scroll to it super quick. This was Next Gen Stats. The 99 club offensive tackle overall scores among combine invitees since 2003. Ickey Ekwonu, our draft pick, he has a 99 score. Basically the best offensive lineman there is out there. Previous to that was Jake Matthews in 2014. Previous to that was Lane Johnson in 2013. And a huge drum roll on this one. Guess who was the fourth one? With a 99 overall score offensive tackle combine invitee since 2003. It was not the, it was the one and only Jordan Gross, the last really good offensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers. So, therefore, this pick, I'm just going to say these picks are good or bad. This was a good one. This was a really good one. You got an offensive tackle, and you kind of felt that the Carolina Panthers were going to be in a very good position. They have the best offensive lineman out there because all the picks before them, defensive guy, defensive guy, defensive guy. And so you saw him sitting there. They scooped him up. Good job. Carolina Panthers first pick. Looks like, regardless of who's back there, for Sam Darnold, who, before we start to talk about how good or bad, how long he's going to be back there, this has to be good for him while he's back there to have this offensive tackle in here. Now, he's still a rookie, so you got to see what his curve is going to be like, but he still should be pretty decent, pretty respectable out the gate, helping give Sam Darnold some more time, which should hopefully help Sam have some better games while he's back there at us for a quarterback. So that's your first round pick from the Carolina Panthers, tackle Ickey Ekwonu, first round. All right, so let's move on to our second pick, which was the third round pick. So this pick came to us via the New England Patriots, and want to mention that during our time speaking with Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule, Fitterer actually complimented Matt on his his ability to negotiate with Bill Belichick. He said that Matt Rule was actually on the phone with Bill, making this trade happen. It was a pick for, I think it was a trade for a pick this year that we gave up and a pick next year. Now during this process, they didn't want to have to reach for a quarterback. So the fact that all these quarterbacks slid gave them the opportunity to have a little bit more negotiating power because these guys wasn't flying off the board. They didn't have to kind of give up more than they wanted to. So this draft really, really worked out well for the Carolina Panthers. Didn't have to give up much at all. And they get a 3rd-round pick in Matt Corral. I'm probably not saying his name right. Let me look at it as I said. Matt Corral. I told you I was going to mess it up. Matt Corral. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the slideshow that I have here for Matt. Wore number 2 at Ole Miss. Anybody remember the other number 2 for Carolina Panthers? Previous to DJ Moore. But anyway, this guy can scramble. He can move. He has a strong arm. Has a quick release that is exciting a lot of coaches out there. And then here's another picture of Matt in action. So let me give you a few bits of information about our future quarterback, Matt. Give me just a second to bring it up. Give me just a second. Looking for my cheat sheet. Let's see. That's not it. Here we go. All right, I found it. Told you a few things may take a second tonight, but we got an hour, right? We got an hour. And if you guys are leaving questions or comments, please keep them coming. After I do this one with Matt, then I'll go back and I'll check the comments again. Interactive show for a reason. And also, we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, all right? So if you're watching and you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. I promise I'll work for you. Any questions that you have, I'm going to try to get that question answered for you from that player or coach, or I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it to give you some information. But let's go ahead and let me talk to you about Matt. Quarterback out of Mississippi. He is 6'2", 205 pounds. A few of his recent honors: 2021 Manning Award finalist, 2021 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Elite finalist, 2021 Maxwell Award semifinalist, Dave O'Brien Award semifinalist. So he didn't win any of these things, but he was a finalist in a lot of these things. Career notes: 8,287 career passing yards and 57 passing TDs. So he went to that same school that a little guy named Eli Manning went to in Ole Miss. And I also believe Marquise Haynes went to Ole Miss. I hope I'm not wrong. I'm sure you all will let me know. And then I have a few notes. So a few things that I forgot to play for you. That first time around is some audio from these guys talking to the media. So I'm going to go back here and get this Ickey audio for you guys to hear and share with you. Let me get this in my ear so I can hear and make sure that we're all good. Hopefully I will get this correct here. Give me just 1 second. Let's see if I can get this done. Let's see here. Entire screen here. Share system audio.
As an offense lineman, and then secondly, also if you could let us know about your suit for tonight.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I feel like, violence, physicality, strain. I feel like those are some of the key words, that I use to describe my game personally. And, with the suit, I start with a chain. I actually had a 704 right here on the chain, and green, white, green for my Nigerian roots. And I got Ickey on the chain as well. That's my nickname. And I actually have the Nigerian flag on the lapel as well. So, another homage to my Nigerian culture. And I actually have red bottoms on the Christian Louboutins because, the splash of red represents NC State, the Wolfpack. So, really just kind of put this whole thing together. I guess kind of just, just stories about my life.
Hey, Ickey, congratulations, man. I'm with the Athletic here in town. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You weren't the first player taken tonight, but you were the first.
All right. So there you have Ickey Ekwonu that was introducing himself to the media a few nights ago. And then, so I forgot to play that one earlier. And next we're gonna have, so Ickey was talking about being drafted and his outfit that he wore. Giving homage to the place that he's from, as far as his parents go, giving props to NC State, and then giving props to Charlotte. So I think that's pretty cool. Next up, I was just talking about Matt Corral. So we're going to listen to Matt talk with the media about his experience in meeting and talking with David Tepper. And let's see here.
I had what was it called? The top 30 visit with them. There's a lot of good talks with Mr. Tepper, and that's where, I really felt comfortable. I met with them before we had gone out to eat the very first night I got there, and they just wanted to see me before dinner. And we watched like 3 or 5 clips of film, and then we just started talking about life and life experiences. And really me and Mr. Tepper really just took off and just started talking one-on-one. And I felt comfortable, and I'm really excited that he gave me the opportunity, and he felt, he blessed me with this opportunity. So I'm excited to get to Charlotte and get to work.
I would love to know what kind of life experiences that you and
So that was pretty cool to hear Matt talk about meeting David Tepper. Tepper said in the past that in terms of how he gets involved with draft and free agents, really basically the bigger the check, the more likely he is to be involved. The smaller the check, understandably, the less likely he is to be involved. And I think it's worth pointing out there that Matt showed that he was in Las Vegas with that pretty cool looking room that he has out there in Las Vegas. Lots more to come about these guys. But again, tonight, just wanted to touch on these guys, give you a chance to hear from them, hear from me, and I want to hear from you as well. As again, I think the Carolina Panthers did excellent. So the first 2 picks, really, I don't think anybody out there wanted anything else other than these 2 things to be addressed. Offensive line being addressed, and then your quarterback position being addressed. Now, it is worth noting, okay, the obvious question, how long will Sam Darnold be at quarterback? Is this Sam's team to lose? Yes, it is Sam's position to lose, but I think, in my opinion, the Fitterer and Rule, I think Fitterer was the one that said this, that Matt's the future. And so we'll see how long it takes for him to get his big shot. I think it's good that no matter how much we may like, some people may dislike Sam Darnold, it certainly gives this guy a lot of good a position to take his time. Now, he won't have all day, but I think what helps this team as a whole is if you strengthen up the team as much as we did, and Sam Darnold can be out there just not giving away the game, just managing the game, Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, then I think, and I feel like we're in a very good position to start growing and building something pretty good here in Carolina. But that was, again, Matt Corral speaking with the Carolina Panthers press about his experience with meeting David Tepper. Again, Tepper obviously getting involved with the quarterback situation. So I promised that I'd go to some of these comments here. Don't want to leave you all hanging. Let me get to these comments really quickly. All right. I think I'm going to start right here. Only thing that would make this offseason better is if we had Jadeveon Clowney come home. I do think that would be pretty cool. Fix the O-line. Hopefully the backs can eat. Absolutely, I agree with you. I hope we win more than 5 games, man. If we don't win more than 5 games, I don't want to start these kinds of conversations yet about Matt Rule being fired, because David Tepper talked the other day about, hey, this might not be a 5-year plan, it might be a 6-year plan. So, those comments, You don't know exactly where to take them, but I'm going to stay focused on just talking about this draft. I really, really feel like we have absolutely no reason not to win 5 games. I mean, we already have talent on this team anyway. Chris Johnson, appreciate you joining me. If we run first football team, then I'll say we are glad to have him as our tackle. Hope he starts. Chris, Anthony, you like all of our picks? Good to hear. Antoine Henderson clocked in. Appreciate you clocking in. Hey, again, I know for some of you might be like, hey, where's Charlotte Vibe? What's Chris doing? I'm telling you, I'm here. I'm never going to leave you guys. Never going to leave you guys. Appreciate your support. Always love your support. And keep on going. Matt Carroll, a.k.a. Grand Gaff. I don't know what that means yet, but I'll keep doing my research to pick it up. Yep, pancakes. Ickey goes by pancakes. Cam, how do you feel about MC? How will it impact the team, and will it lead to a winning record this season? So, Matt Corral is a great pickup. I'm not on board with saying that he was a first-round pick that we got in the 3rd round. But I feel like he's a very solid guy, and we didn't have to reach and give up too many assets to get him on the team. What will his impact be? We don't know yet, but I feel like he has a good opportunity to succeed. I really, really like the fact that he doesn't have to come in and start right away. We may want him to. The same haters may want him to. But again, with Ickey coming in the 1st round, with Christian McCaffrey being healthy, and with the other things that we're doing, we should be able to be competitive, right? And if we see Matt really, really developing, then we could pick our spots to bring him in there. And it shouldn't be because we're 0-4 as a team that we like, okay, let's go ahead and put Matt in here. We should really, I mean, it would be insanity. Also look at the coaching staff improvements that we've made. We got a new offensive coordinator. We brought back Steve. Oh, man, I hope it's Steve Wilkes. Gosh, I believe that's his name. Please don't crucify me if I got that right. But we got some new coaches on this team, a lot more veterans on this team. We got an assistant general manager in Dan Morgan on this team. So there's been a lot of improvements to help manage the success of this team. So if it doesn't result in something better, oh my, that would be atrocious. Appreciate the question, Cam. What number is CMC going with? I didn't know he was going to be changing the number. Cora has a lightning fast release and is very accurate, says Brad. Looking at winning 7 or 8 games this year. I want more than that. 7 or 8 is just, that's not enough. All right, Felipe, hopefully I said your name correctly. Sam is definitely not the answer, but not sure Matt is either. Offensive line, no doubt, got better, but again, draft is really a question mark until season begins. Hope we replace Matt Rule. So, absolutely right. The draft is really nothing that you can know for sure until August, maybe. You start to get an idea because all these guys are going to take a moment to just even adapt to the NFL. So, I don't agree with the hope Matt Rule is replaced because I feel like it's a new year, new opportunity. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm not going to start the season saying replace Matt Rule. I'm going to cheer for Matt Rule. I'm going to hope that he does great. But should Matt Rule not do great? Should Matt Rule look like he does not know what he's doing? Should Matt Rule and his team look like they're going backwards? Then I'm on that bandwagon. But meanwhile, I mean, hey, this team needs fans to support them, and I'm not saying you should support them no matter what, but it's a new season, so let's start out, in my opinion, with a little bit of optimism, all right? I am going to read 2 more comments, then get back into going through the rest of these because I don't want to keep you guys past 8 o'clock. Didn't realize you're Chris Jenkins until one of the interviews you did, LOL. What are you talking about? You didn't realize I was Chris, like the old football player Chris Jenkins, or my name is Chris? It doesn't matter. You guys can call me Charlotte Vibe. That's fine. But yes, my name is Chris Jenkins. Black Panther says, glad to have you back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. All right, so his last name is pronounced just like Golden Corral. Oh, I think I was saying Coral. Thank you, Corral, Matt Corral. Appreciate the tip there. All right, so let me go ahead and finish, continue to go through these draft picks for you here. All right, next up was linebacker Brandon Smith. Let's go ahead and share a few of the photographs that I have for you of one Mr. Brandon Smith, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about this guy. There is Brandon Smith, number 12, playing in the Big 12 for Penn State. Man, what's up with all those things that are wrapped around his left leg? Well, I mean, what do those do? Obviously, I don't play sports anymore. I don't know. Well, I recreationally play, but man, all those bands. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wish I had seen this picture when I had a chance to talk to him. But anyway, nevertheless. And then right here, number 12. Let me go ahead and share some facts about Brandon Smith. Give me a moment. Am I not going to find it? All right, all right. I got it for you here. So, with the higher draft picks, there's typically more information available. As the picks go down, there's less information available. But I am going to do my professional job and break this down to you. So Brandon Smith was a junior. This says junior. Man, I do not like the information that I'm looking at, but I'm going to try to break it down. Linebacker, 6'3", 241 pounds, out of Virginia is his hometown. And yeah, I don't like the information that they gave to me for Brandon. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and I'm going to share with you all Brandon speaking with the media. One thing that I got a chance to do was I did get a chance to talk to Brandon. So, man, each year things change a little bit for the media. Years past, we would always be in the stadium doing the draft. Then COVID hit, and we went to being virtual. Then this year we started being back at the stadium, but because we went to the stadium, things went virtual again this year. I did not make all of the interviews with all the players, but for the next couple of players, I did. So here's a little bit of my conversation that I'm going to share with you guys about Brandon Smith. Once I find my earpiece, so I can make sure the audio is playing. Where did my microphone go or my earpiece go? All right, here we go. Had a chance to talk with Brandon Smith shortly after being drafted. He was up in New York, I believe, having a private event to celebrate being drafted. And let's go ahead and play this audio for you guys. Chris Jenkins with Charlotte Vibe. Earlier you mentioned UTOR. I don't know, what is your relationship like with UTOR?
For the most part, for myself, different levels or whatever like that, me being in college and him being in the NFL, just kind of, keep my, talking to a minimum because I know like the schedules and stuff like that is different, everything like that. So I'm the type of person that's going to respect people's time. But really me as well as me and Etor, as well as our families, very close as far as when I was there for my 1 year with them at Penn State. Both our families like hung out a good amount. And really he's an overall good dude, and cool dude, and I can't wait to play with him.
Safe to say he'll be one of the first people.
Play with him again.
Okay, safe to say he'll be one of the first people you're now going to reach out to since you guys will be teammates?
Oh yeah. I definitely get in contact with him. I definitely get in contact with him.
Thank you. All right, so that was my conversation with Brandon Smith, who says that he is familiar with Yetur, Gross Matos, Penn State, and I think it's always great when there's younger guys on the team that know somebody else that's on the team because there's such a transition in going from the from the college level to the pro level, and all the mentors and familiarities that you could have with these guys, even if it's coaches, I think is really big in helping them to make that transition. So glad that we got that pickup. That covers 3 draft picks. Let's continue to move through the list of draft picks. Lots of screens here I'm working through, but that's just what I do for you guys. All right, let's see here. Oh, don't want to show you that one. All right, we got 3 more picks that we have. Defensive end, Amaré Barno. And I don't think I have anything from him. Give me just a second. Yeah, the information these guys kind of. All right, so we're going to talk about Amaré Barno. Let's go ahead and share a few photographs that we have of Mr. Barno. Hey, that's what he looks like outside of uniform. But here is Barno in action at Virginia Tech right here. So let me go ahead and give you a little bit of information on this guy. He is out of Blythewood, South Carolina. So not too far away, almost a local guy. And wow, they did not give me much information there. So we'll continue to move on through these picks, sharing some more. That's what we do. Actually, after this next one, I'm gonna take a break and look back at the comments that you all have going here. Next pick, offensive lineman, Cade Mays. Let's go ahead and show the few pictures that I got of Mr. Mays, who played his college football at a few different places. I think he also played at Georgia, but he also played, as you can see here, at Tennessee. And that is where we drafted him from. And hey, how about that? I got some good information on Cade Mays. So let me go ahead and share that information with you. Senior, 6'6", 325 pounds, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. His honors, his college accomplishments include a 2022 Reese Senior Bowl participant, 2021 All SEC second team, 2021 All SEC third team, and not to mention a few offensive linemen of the week. He played at Georgia and then transferred to Tennessee and was recently drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Here's a tidbit. His full name is Cade Montgomery Mays. And he had a chance to speak with the media, including yours truly. And I'm going to share that video with you right about now. Hey, Cade, it's Chris Jenkins with Charlotte Vibe. Just wondering, if you had the opportunity to introduce yourself to this fan base, how would you describe yourself as a player? What would that introduction be like if you could make it?
I would say that, I play the game the right way. I'm going to come to work every day, and, I'm going to give the organization everything I got. And, I'm going to be a great guy in the locker room. And just, I'm excited to get to know those guys and looking forward to it.
Chris, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. And how would you describe the way that you play the game?
I'd say I play hard. I look at it from a really microscopic lens. I try to put together a really good game plan to go out and perform at a high level when I do play. And then, I try to bring the guys along with me. This past year on the O-line, just, trying to get us to play as a unit and play together. So just, I play the game the right way. I play hard and I try to play it physical.
All right, so there you see my conversation with Mr. Mays. letting you know, if you haven't seen him before, what to expect, what kind of player he is. Seems like a really cool guy, and I think there's something out there on Twitter he had posted a while back being a Bojangles. So it's like, hey, you came to the right place because you can certainly get plenty of Bojangles here in Charlotte. Even got the Bojangles Coliseum. So really do look forward to meeting all these guys in person. And let's go ahead and get to our final pick of the draft. Let me bring it back up on the screen one quick second. Final pick of the draft, cornerback Kalon Barnes. So something that we did in this draft was we got very, very lightning, super quick, fast. And this pick right here ran the fastest time at the combine for a defensive back in like forever. I forget the official time, but I want to say it was like a 4.23. It was blazing. So, of course, with speed, super, super big speed like this, there's not too many guys that you'll see in the league that has lightning quick speed that's just unreal, matched by super good technical skills at their position, right? Whether it's catching the ball, whether it's defending the ball, whether it's even running the ball. So let me, except for with the exception of Tyreek Hill, he's one of the guys. And again, these guys come by extremely rarely that you have somebody with exceptional skills in both areas. It just seems phenomenal. But I'm going to also share with you my questions with Boogie Barnes, aka Kalon Barnes, about his, what he's going to be working on and what we can expect from him. So let me go ahead and share this with you as well. Give me just a moment. For you, but this one look like you got a hat on already. How'd you get that hat so quickly?
Nah, my cousin, they had already had it made, so we were just waiting on the name call. And when the name got called, they brought the hats out.
And how was today for you waiting for your name to be called?
It was a long day, just a long day. I just sat there, waited out. Like Coach Rule always taught us when I first got to Baylor, just trust the process. I trusted the process, waited my turn, waited for my name to be called.
Now, typically when you go from one level to the next, you're determined to work on something or improve on something, from high school to college. So as you go now from college to pro, is there anything that you're going to be focusing on to make sure you have the same success at the NFL level that you did at the college level?
Just work. I know for a fact I didn't be more consistent in my tackling. I had a lot of string tackles this last season, so that's something I really want to lock down on this tackling.
Hey, well, congratulations and look forward to seeing you here in Charlotte.
I appreciate you speaking.
All right, so there you have my conversation with Mr. Barnes. Let me also show you some of the photographs that we have of Mr. Barnes in action. Looking like Dante Jackson right there. That's just warm-ups look like that was not in a game. And man, I want to say it looks like maybe that's in Texas. Mr. Barnes also right there, and another piece of him being in action, either knocking down, getting the interception, whatever you may have it for for Baylor. So what I did like to hear from Kalon, when you ask these guys questions, a lot of times I'm really appreciating sincerity and transparency. He could have said, I just want to improve my overall game, be better at everything. But no, he went ahead and mentioned specifically getting better at tackling. And that's something that I would say you're not surprised to see. A smaller guy, super quick guy. You really have not had to say, I need to have the most excellent tackling, because you just want to disrupt the guy from getting the ball or just hold him up, wraggle him around long enough for other guys to come down. But in the NFL, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to learn to tackle. It's something that we saw Dante Jackson have to get better at, learning to tackle. Heck, I still remember Deion Sanders fan. He was making business decisions on guys that he may go to tackle. So I still would advise him to exercise that kind of discrepancy, but certainly to get better at it and improve on it. So really, really good draft class. I'm excited about it. I give the overall class a thumbs up. Again, addressing some of the obvious things that we want to see in the offensive line and the quarterback position, and then addressing other spots on the defensive side, then coming back on the offensive side later on in the draft. Now, today was the day that everybody who did not get that call Thursday, Friday, or Saturday to get that call and get signed with the Carolina Panthers. Fitterer said yesterday that he's going to be looking to address really just adding depth to the team on both sides of the ball. Only specifically mentioned wanting to get a return specialist. I don't know if he felt like he addressed that with the undrafted or if he's still going to be looking to do that in free agency. Also makes you question how much Shi Smith may be part of the team in the future. I know he got in trouble over the summer or recently. It's not really summertime yet, but he got in trouble the past 2 months in South Carolina. So don't know if they feel like he's not going to be a solution, or maybe they feel like he's just a question mark and they want to get something more solidified. But let's go ahead and go over the undrafted list. We got 2 pages of it, but here's the undrafted list. Guys that were not drafted but were signed today to the Carolina Panthers. Tight end Josh from North Dakota State. I'm not going to try to say his last name. Quarterback Davis Cheek out of Elon. So as promised from Fitterer to Sam Darnold, he said we're going to add some quarterbacks to this room. So we've added 2 quarterbacks, 1 drafted quarterback and 1 free agent quarterback. Linebacker Isaiah Graham Mobley out of Boston College. Safety Drew Hartleb out of Penn State. So that's at least 2 picks out of Penn State that we got this year. Wide receiver Rashawn Henry out of Virginia. Wide receiver Telelo Lemu Jones out of Eastern Washington. Please do not make fun of your boy if he got any of these guys' names incorrect. Running back John Lovett out of Penn State. So that's 3. May get 3 guys out of Penn State. It was pretty funny that one of the players did not know that Coach Rule went to Penn State, but he said, I don't think that there's blame there because it's not like there's a ton of pictures hanging up on Penn State with Coach Matt Rule. And then let's go to the second page. Defensive tackle Marquand McCall out of Kentucky. Linebacker Aaron Mosby out of Fresno State. Wide receiver Andrew Parchment out of Florida State. Wide receiver Charleston Rambo out of Miami. Linebacker Kalon Tolson out of Illinois. Wide receiver Derek Wright out of Utah State. I wonder how much Steve Smith out of Utah appreciates that. So we seem like we addressed quite a few wide receivers. Let me see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 wide receivers and 1 tight end. So we certainly went to focus a little bit more on adding depth on the offensive side with those undrafted free agents. Let me report to you, when does OTA start? Let's see here. Should not be too long. So OTA start in a couple weeks on May 23rd. So none of the OTAs will be open to the public, but 1 practice week will be open to the media where we'll get to see these guys and get some firsthand looks at them up close and in person. But we still won't be able to affirm much on how beneficial this guy will be, how great he looked, what his technique looked like, and those things, because they're just really starting to learn the language, starting to learn the playbook and everything that the Carolina Panthers expect of them. So let me go ahead and get to these comments and wrap on up. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what questions you have. Again, I work for you. That's what I want to be known for, working for the fans. So please, any questions that you have, let me know. And tell a friend. Hit the like button. Help me continue to grow. Cover these Carolina Panthers. All right, let's go see if I can pick back up, run through these questions that's been coming here. Brad hopes that we win 7 or 8 games this year. I already went through that one. Okay. Bet Robbie Anderson's so happy that we didn't trade for Baker. You guys think Robbie Anderson's going to be around this year? Do you think we're going to trade him? Do you think he wants to be here? I don't know. Didn't know if you all had any feelings on that or not. If Derek Brown takes a leap this year, like he's capable, it's over. Yeah, I agree with that statement. I agree with that statement. Who will wear number 2? Matt Corral. Appreciate the tip that you guys gave me. Or DJ Moore. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Unless Matt has some of the deepest pockets imaginable, like extremely deep, DJ Moore is going to continue to wear number 2. Not to mention that DJ Moore just got number 2 last year when the NFL made some rule changes that allowed wide receivers to wear single-digit numbers. So I'm pretty sure that DJ is not going to give up that number to Matt. And Matt's going to have to find a new number, which, hey, he's now a millionaire in the NFL. I think he'll find a way to be okay with it. What is the off-field problems with the QB? So, good question, Richard. I do remember that Matt has talked about some mental health issues and some alcoholism in the past. And obviously this team feels like he has a hold on that. I know that they mentioned, I forget which one it was. I think it might have been Matt Rule that mentioned that all of us when we were 20, 21, 22 went through some things. And you just want to make sure that the person's just going through some things and not that thing isn't defining them. And so they feel pretty confident that it was just part of growing up, and that they applauded Nat for being very transparent about those challenges that he's had off the field. Thinks that it's helpful for people that may be going through those things to hear people in his position be transparent about it. So that's what I know about that. Okay, you saw Cade Mays go one-on-one with Javon Kinlaw and win. Ice up, Sonny. David says we nailed this draft. Yeah, I think this draft was really, really good. Good draft, good draft. I think we'll be top 3 at defense. This is Cam. I think we'll be all right, Cam. Appreciate you tuning in, Cam. I think Cam's talking through his mom's account, by the way, in case you guys are seeing that the pictures there. All right. Needs are all addressed. Sir Hen, tell me why you think we should trade Robbie Anderson. We got a few more minutes left in the broadcast here. Tell me why we should trade good old Robbie. Josh wants Robbie to stay here. And then Sir Hen says you can also upgrade the wide receiver position. So I don't know what's next. That's the fun thing about being a reporter covering a professional sports team. It's like you always got to be on the ready. But I do promise you that from this point on, you can count on Charlotte Vibe to continue to keep you up to date, to bring back the interviews that we love to do with players. So I'm going to be reaching out to these draft picks and seeing which one of those guys I can get on for you all to see and interview and ask questions with. That's always so fun to do. So be sure to look out for that. If Robbie starts out slow like last year, I can see him being moved, especially signing all those wide receivers we picked up on the cheap. That Metal Crypt 89, I'm not sure what all that means. Hopefully I didn't say something bad, but I could definitely see that and appreciate that comment. Robbie has a really nice contract and has seen what I'll just say is different during this offseason with his comments. Robbie Anderson is a guy that I have said is the first, we are now allowed back into the locker rooms. Robbie Anderson is the first guy I want to see if I can't, have a professional relationship with to be able to talk to him and try to get some insight about him and what he's really thinking, what he's feeling, and of course bring it to you guys. All right, so that will conclude today's show. Chris Jenkins, Carolina Panthers credentialed journalist, reporting for Charlotte Vibe. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. Hit that subscribe button, and not just hit that subscribe button, but turn on the bell notifications. Most of my videos are live for the reason of being able to interact with fans that love this team, that want their questions answered. So it'll benefit you greatly, and I appreciate if you turn on that notification so that we can have some interactive conversations about this team and cheer them on. And speaking of cheering them on, scheduled release is certainly going to be the next big event that we have coming up. I think it's toward the end of May. I don't know about you, but I have my fingers crossed that this team will be going to Germany. As the NFL said, they will have, I'm not sure how many games they said they will have in Germany, but they will have some games in Germany. London was spectacular. London was just an incredible experience, and I would love to go to Germany and have another incredible experience traveling with this team. So, Chris Jenkins, thank you all for watching. Enjoy your Sunday.